Hey everybody, so this is going to be kind of a special video. I wanted to do a video on recovery and mental wellness or illnesses. I believe that there is a huge stigma around addiction and mental health. And unfortunately, I believe that on PEI, we're behind a bit in the times. And, you know, it's too bad. At least we do have, so I'm going to start by saying, I'm not ashamed. I'm in recovery, and I have been for years. I am in recovery. I have to work a program. I go to meetings, and, I work steps, and, out of that, I get a good quality of life. Honestly, I don't mind talking about it. The principles are that, addiction doesn't mean that you are a bad person. You have a bad disease. And this is the only disease that will tell you you don't have it. If you get cancer and you go to the doctor, you're going to start chemo. If you have diabetes, you're going to take your insulin. And this disease is the disease that tells you you do not have it. But it is just as deadly as the other diseases. So, what's scary about the disease of addiction is that it is cunning, baffling, and powerful. Like I say, it will tell you you do not have it. So, denial is huge. And denial is the biggest barrier between, someone who is in active addiction to someone who's in recovery. Bottom line, it's so important to reach out and talk to somebody and become accountable. If you believe you have an issue or a problem, or you do and you've relapsed or are in active addiction and want help, there are programs out there. There is a 3-week outpatient program, a 3-week inpatient program. There is detox, and there are plenty of counselors, and you can also get sent away. If you haven't heard about it, there are clinics. If you are an opiate addict, there are clinics. And for alcoholism, there are medications for risk prevention. There is a medication for drinking, and it helps curb your cravings, from what I've heard. And I've heard that there are no side effects, really. So, if you struggle with alcohol, a lot of people don't realize that there is a medication out there for that, besides the one that they used to give, which can be dangerous. If you decide to drink and you're on it, you get very sick. There is another medication out. It's new, so there's hope. Okay? If you are into opiates, which has plagued our island now, there are harm reduction medications available. It's important to keep in mind that these are for harm reduction and to help get you clean and sober. And after a period of time, to come off them. Because you want serenity, you want to be clean, right? But the first step is to be accountable and talk to someone and just, reach out. And if you know somebody who is dealing with addiction and needs help, approach them with love and understanding, and let them know that you are not judging them, that you know that they need help, or, depends on the person what you should say, really. But, if you recognize somebody needs help, just let them know you're there for them, and that, they can talk to you without being scrutinized or judged. If you feel that you know somebody who is, really deep in addiction, you can have them committed. I mean, I know I'm talking deep here, but there are people out there that do need that honestly cannot do it without being committed. And so if you have someone in your life and you're a family member, you have the power to call the family doctor and disclose this information. Now, of course, the person's going to see it as that you're against them, but, you can let them know that you're doing it because you love them and you want them to get help. It's important to remember that addiction is a disease. It is not something that people choose. And just like diabetes or something, there's predisposition. So it's very important to remember that people with the disease of addiction are not bad people. However, once they know they have the disease of addiction, it is their responsibility to recover, to get well, once they're past the denial. They have that accountability to get well. However, it's very hard, it's very difficult if you're in active addiction to see that you deserve or could even have a life of sobriety. I've been there, but it's very possible. And, I attend meetings. I really don't mind talking about this at all. I attend meetings. I have 3 groups I go to. I do a daily reading every day. It's called Just for Today, my book. Anyway, there's different ones through NA, AA, PA. There are groups every day of the week, even through COVID right now. There's NA groups at the Kirk of St. James, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. For AA, there is the North End group, and that's on Green Street. There are much more groups. If you would like to know about groups for Queens County or Charlottetown, the number is 902-892-2103. And if you are in a different part of the island, they can give you the phone number. That number can get you the list of all the meetings, and you can find a group that's right for you. There's women's groups, there's 12-step groups, and everything, but that is just for AA. However, NA, there is one at the Kirk of St. James in Charlottetown. I know that. And however, if you contact the AA directory, they can get you in touch with NA. You can also Google the NA directory. It's very important to, if you're unsure you have a problem, walk into one of these rooms, sit down, and stay for the whole meeting with an open mind. Just really listen. You don't have to talk, even though you're welcome to introduce yourself The newest person in the room is always the most important person in the room, because they remind us of what it can be like, and it reminds us what we have and to be grateful for it. It's very difficult if you have mental health conditions and the disease of addiction, because usually, addiction is a disease of feelings and connection. And with mental health, if you don't like how you're feeling and you have the disease of addiction, you are, I forget how many more times likely to self-medicate than if you don't have a mental health illness. So they go hand in hand, and they have to be treated together. You can't treat one without treating the other. We have, on PEI, we have the Lacey House, which is a housing for women, a recovery house, and we have the Talbot House for men. You can look these up online, and they take on clients, and you can stay there. You live there. It depends. It could be 2 months to 8 months, depending. And they have programming, and you go to meetings and so forth, and you are around other people that you can relate to. They are same-sex places, so Lacey House is for women, Talbot House is for men. There are more beds at the Talbot House, but it's very important that, that you touch base with them if you think you have an issue, because the first step is to go talk to somebody and, tell yourself that, it's okay, that I'm not a bad person, and talk to someone you trust. Some people will talk to priests or pastors or things like that, just to kind of get a feel, like talk to them because they're unbiased, and, just to see what they say. But what I would do is ask yourself if, ask yourself if you drink more than you would like, or if you, if you drink more than you would like, if you have had losses due to your drinking or using. If you're using drugs, then you have the disease of addiction. If you're using drugs, illegal drugs, you probably have the disease of addiction, because if you are breaking the law to get these drugs, then you are probably going against your regular morals. So right there, that answers your question, that yes, you need help. And there are different paths, and unfortunately those are death, jail, institutions, or recovery. And recovery actually is serene. It does help you realize that, when you do the steps, you deserve forgiveness. You make amends to those you've hurt. You do a personal inventory and get out everything bad you've done, and you start fresh, a clean slate. So the steps are very important. They are a key element. Being mindful, through the recovery process is very important. mindfulness is very important. It's just making sure that you have a balance between, your factual mind and your emotional mind. So that they are balanced. And so you keep an open mind and be mindful. And you don't let your feelings overwhelm you, or you don't obsess about the what ifs. You don't start thinking like all the negatives. That would be your factual mind. There's a few short things. HALT is very important. Hungry, angry, lonely, tired. And if you're in recovery, hungry, angry, lonely, tired, or if you have a mental illness, these are all triggers, and it's proven. So, do a little inventory with yourself now and then. Am I hungry, angry, lonely, or tired? Then there's KISS. It's keep it simple, stupid. That's all. Keep it simple. Because in recovery, you need to keep it simple. The steps are very simple. I use a step guide book. It has in-depth questions that you answer, so it's a bit more complicated, but you don't need to do that. There is just the step book that you can read. I have so much literature. I'm going to be posting this on Facebook, and I really don't mind talking about these issues with anybody. If anybody is struggling, if anybody wants someone to go to a meeting with or anything like that, contact me, message me. I would be thrilled to take someone to a meeting. I don't drive, but I would help you get there. I would figure it out because I've been able to do that for myself. So if I can do it, then you can. When you get through the denial, and if you have if there's any chance that you have an issue, go to a meeting. And if you need someone to go with you, get in touch with me. If you're in crisis, then you should definitely call someone. If you're in crisis, call 911. Go to the hospital. If you're in crisis, call detox. Get yourself detoxed. I don't know the numbers off heart. It's been years for me since I've been, so I don't remember, but it's very important to get yourself in the right places, with the right people, places, and things. And there's a lot of changes involved in recovery, and they're difficult, but they all make sense, and they all help you in the long run. It's really important. Surround yourself with like-minded people, and get rid of the people in your life that were using friends, because they weren't really friends. Misery loves company, and that's the bottom line. Anyway, so I hope this video helps somebody. Please message me if you have any questions, if you need help with any resources, information's on any groups. I go to, if you're very Christian, I go to a Christian group. It's on Tuesdays. If you want something a little more slack, then there's groups like that too. So just get in touch with me, and I'll help you out the best way I can. And I just wish everybody, I just hope that those who are struggling will find help, and those who can help will. And with that, I'm going to end this video and say it's been a pleasure.